Have you ever noticed that the conventional healthcare system, they never ask why? They never even make an attempt to understand the root cause, nor do they discuss natural solutions with you. Here's what they do: they slap a label on you, hand you over a prescription, and send families on their way. This is what happens for autism, ADHD, anxiety, and especially for sensory processing disturbances and disorders. Here's the thing: nobody asks why. What's causing this? Why is it getting so much worse? Why is it not responding? Why did it come out of nowhere? And this is where oftentimes it's the same thing, whether you're in a holistic world or a natural world, whether it's Lyme's disease, PANS, or PANDAS, the list goes on. All too often, this will leave you leaving as if you're stuck in this condition and that the label is now here for life. The list goes on, but none of them actually answer the question that every parent is desperately seeking. What is really going on with my child? Why is it that their health is challenged in this particular capacity? Labels do not heal. They do not calm the chaos. They do not help kids sleep. They don't help them speak. They don't help them smile again. And that's exactly what today's system is handing out: labels instead of answers, a diagnosis instead of a direction. It's time that we flip the script. Let's start with a statistic that will absolutely shock you. 40% of children today are living with at least one chronic condition. Other research sadly shows that the list goes on at least to 50%. So that's meaning that 1 in 2 kids are chronically sick. This is simply not okay, which means that nearly half of all kids are dealing with conditions, whether it's autism, ADHD, allergies, anxiety, asthma, autoimmune conditions. These health challenges go on. This represents an unprecedented health crisis that somehow wasn't making headlines until just recently, when thankfully people like RFK and others started to stand up and start taking action. Even more concerning is that a meta-analysis of multiple studies shows that the number of youth receiving antipsychotic medications increased by 50% to 200% over the last 20 years. We're not just seeing more sick kids, we're seeing more kids being medicated at younger and younger ages. This path to medication dependency starts with one thing, and that's a diagnosis and a label from the medical doctor. The way conventional medicine works is that once you put the label on your child, the medication is the next automatic step. Now, they do not explore the root cause. They don't offer natural, nervous system focused, drug-free options. And they don't even actually pretend to address the issue. They just cover it up with medication. This insanity has to stop. Now, there are some benefits. There's some challenges to this whole diagnostic realm, right? If you get a diagnosis, sure, it can help you to access services. A formal diagnosis can unlock school-based supports like IEPs, speech therapy, occupational therapy, and accommodations that may otherwise be denied. You get an opportunity for insurance and state coverage as well. Many therapies, equipment, and interventions, they require a diagnosis code for the health insurance carrier or for the state program that pays for them. Here's the challenge though, is that insurance and state coverage services, these are all medically based, which means that once you seek this medical diagnosis, you're stuck in this medical entity. There's no navigating natural approaches. There's no getting to the root cause because everything is under the umbrella of these insurance carriers. And unfortunately, our state-funded educational programs run under the same umbrella. So it's time to step out of that umbrella if you are looking for a different approach to help your child who's still struggling, even though they have the medication, they have the label, they have the IEP, they have the other programs and therapies available through school. It's just not working. Now, another opportunity is the legitimacy or the validation that the parent is seeking. This can really help families communicate needs to teachers, employers, and medical providers without a constant re-explaining, meaning we put a generalized quote on it and everyone understands what's going on. There's also support systems. A diagnosis can connect families to specific programs. They can help with funding and community resources that didn't really exist. So they can be beneficial. But now, when a diagnosis labels a child, it really limits their overall potential. It's an identity shift to a broken child. Now, this is where a diagnosis is who they are, not just what they have. It creates a fixed mindset and lowering beliefs in their ability and capabilities to heal and grow, meaning autistic versus a child with autism. Very different. It also unfortunately creates a victim mentality. A label can unintentionally teach children to expect less of themselves, assuming that they cannot change and they rely on others for solutions instead of building resilience. Now, it's also challenging with medication dependency cycle. A diagnosis often becomes a ticket to long-term prescriptions, where the focus shifts to symptom management versus root cause healing. And it really narrows the lens of the provider. Providers focus only on treatments related to that label. They ignore holistic or upstream causes. If you're tired of getting more and more labels and then more and more medications and want to learn more about neurologically focused chiropractic care and how it might be able to help your child and family, simply click on the link in our bio below. Send us a DM to learn more, because here at Maximize Chiropractic, we do not add labels. We do not give your child more diagnostic labels. We focus on analytically understanding why their nervous system is dysregulated and why there is a disconnect between their brain and body. See, this out of sync mentality where that child can't heal, there is an underlying cause because God created our bodies to heal. You just have to unravel some of the restrictions that are contributing to their body's challenges of function, why they're having some challenges with their normal capabilities, and instead of labeling that child, we will find the cause of this problem, work with their body so that it can heal itself, and allow the body to really show benefit and improvement through care versus using this medication therapy-based approach. We look forward to serving you.